How do you feel about these other games which Atari has placed within your Yarniverse?
I'm glad you asked me that, John. I'll tell you the truth because...
This video brought to you in part by Old School Gamer Magazine. I'll tell you how to get a free digital subscription in just a few minutes. Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, and I am a Gen X Grown Up. And for the second time, I have the distinct opportunity to introduce you to what I will call Atari royalty. The author of so many classic Atari 2600 titles as Yars Revenge, E.T., Saboteur, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the author of Once Upon Atari, How I Made History, Killing an Industry. It is once again my distinct pleasure to welcome my friend Howard Scott Warshaw. Howard, thank you for taking time to be back with me.
John, thank you for having me. It's always good to be here talking with you.
The last time we spoke, which was about a year ago, but we have stayed in touch via text, and you said, we'll stay in contact, and when there is news on Yars Revenge 2, your sequel, we would get together and talk again. So the fact that you're here says there's something to talk about. But first, I want to circle back to when we were here before, we were talking about your book, Once Upon Atari. I have read, love it. Since then, you now have an audiobook, and you found some great talent to read the audiobook. A gentleman named Howard Scott Warshaw, who reads that.
That's so true. Thank you, John. Yeah, I decided to... My writing style, as you know, is very eccentric, a little weird, and I didn't trust anybody else to bring the full nuance to it. So I decided I had to read the book myself, and I did.
I love hearing the story that I hear. Look, I heard your voice in my head in the book, and now to hear it in your voice, it's like I heard it in the book. It's great. So I appreciate that. And you kind of mentioned to me, I don't know if we could talk about this, but there might be more in the works around your book, right?
Well, there's the book, the ebook, the audio book now, but something else is going on. I have actually signed a deal with some producers who are looking at developing this into a either TV series or a movie. So
wow.
Keep your ears peeled for that and eyes, we'll see what's up. But hopefully this will be coming out in the not too distant future, and I'm very excited about that.
That's amazing. Hey, if you need any background artists, let me know. I can be in the background looking dumb. No problem.
Excellent. Excellent. The one thing I want to plug into the background somewhere is me. That's going to be my Easter egg, is going to appear in this movie somewhere as not me. Okay,
let's circle it back around to Yars 2. So since we've spoken, or maybe right around the time we spoke up until now, we have seen Yars Revenge enhanced in the Atari 50th anniversary celebration. We have seen Yars Recharge in Atari's Recharge series. We have seen the announcement, at least, of Yars Rising. I know, as we've spoken, none of these, not only were you involved in, but you had no part in, or even like approval over anything. How do you feel about these other games which Atari has placed within your Yarniverse?
I'm glad you asked me that, John. I'll tell you the truth, because I think it's okay. It makes sense. Atari, Yars Revenge was a property that I created for Atari a long time ago. And it makes sense that Atari is now finally trying to really expand and grow the property. In fact, I gave them the term Yarniverse recently. They weren't even using that. And Yars Rerun is kind of what it feels to me like, because so far all the Yars sequels that I've seen, the Yars Recharged, or the Yars, redesigned. Digital Eclipse did a great job of taking Yars, improving the graphics, and really turning it into like a Steam-based version of a game that plays really nicely. It's very smooth, but it's Yars Revenge. It's Yars Revenge enhanced. Most of the other ones seem to be just remakes of basic Yars Revenge. I haven't seen innovation in it. And that has been frustrating to me, quite honestly. And when people think I'm part of the sequels, it's important to me to let people know I haven't been part of that, because to me, the hallmark of Yars Revenge is innovation. And I haven't been seeing that in sequels. So I designed a sequel, as we talked about before, and it's now starting to come around to the place where it might be making it into Atari's actual production schedule. And I have the design. I've elaborated the design. We have a developer who's lined up and ready to go. It's just a question of when we can finalize a deal and put it into the production schedule. That's where we're at now. But this is going to be a genuine, real, authentic Yars Revenge sequel from HSW. And that means a few things. Look, to me, what's Yars Revenge? If you say, what's Yars Revenge? To me, what Yars Revenge means is a sight and sound overload. Something that blows out the senses. Something that keeps you too busy everywhere on the screen at the same time. And it's just a sensory overload. To me, that's what Yars Revenge is about. And the design that I have takes that to a whole nother level. It's not just about a Yar running around a screen. It's about mayhem and chaos all over the screen, and you have to find the sense in it. You have to, strategize in real time, dynamically, in a very colorful, animated, overloaded environment to call your shots, make your moves, and make choices all the time. I like your brain to be as active as your fingers in a Yars Revenge game. And I think this design truly challenges all that. I'm very excited to see this come to the screen.
Old School Gamer is the only retro gaming magazine in the United States. And if you enjoy video games and the conversations on GenXGrownUp, you are going to enjoy Old School Gamer. Covering video gaming, including home console and arcade, pinball, and retro computing from the 1970s through the 1990s. Just $50 a year in the US gets you a full year subscription with the magazines in your mailbox and all the back issues available digitally. Head to oldschoolgamer.com/GenX to sign up today. Are you interested but not quite ready for the paid edition? OSG has you covered. At that same address, you can sign up for the free digital edition that gets you access to the first half of every issue for free. Check out oldschoolgamer.com/GenX and sign up now. Now, you coined the term Yarniverse, so I'm going to try my hand. You can approve this or you can decline it if you like. But I would like to know where this game is in your brain, in the design documents. What can players look forward to seeing in this game? What can they see and do and experience and play? I'm going to call it a State of the Yar-nion address.
I like that.
So. Okay. So where are we at?
No, I like that. So you mean to position it in the Yar-nion story, in the Yarniverse, as they say.
Yes.
As I say. So, yeah, absolutely. So the concept for this game was what I call Yars Academy. That was that's my original working title. And we'll see how it works out. But my original concept for it was Yar-nion Academy. This is where Yars do the training and go through the challenges and the exercises that are going to make them qualified Qotile hunters and killers. And there's a challenge round because like in the academy, everybody's a cadet and you work your way up the ladder, right? And so there's going to be a lot of competition. It's something where it's you against other players. And there's a lot of head-to-head competition that's built into this design. So you can play it on your own, and there's a variety of solo modes where you can just play the game yourself. But I think the real meat of Yars Academy is head-to-head competition in an extremely dynamic and chaotic world, like I said before, that's just too much going on to fully process. Therefore, you have to call your shots and make your choices. And I think that's the essence of a really good game. When you can look back on the game and say, oh, I could have gone here, or I missed that, or, oh, I really caught that one. I saw this one coming, I made this shot, and that was worth it. That one was worth all the beans. I think that kind of meta play, it's loaded with that. So I don't want to get too much into the detailed mechanics of the game.
Yeah, sure.
But to me, the essence of the game is the feel, because that's what Yars Revenge is about. It's about game feel. It's about player experience. And I haven't seen an increment in player experience so far in any of the Yars Revenge sequels so far. And that's what's pained me. And that's why I reached out and said, hey, why don't we actually do a sequel that does take it a step farther? In addition to taking the gameplay farther, as you alluded to, the term Yarniverse, I'm taking the legend farther as well, because I've also been working for a while on an expansion of the Yars Revenge legend, which includes the origin story of Qotiles as well as Yars, and a whole lot more development about what that is, expanding the Yarniverse enormously coming back, including Earth in the whole process. And it's not only going to include Yars Revenge, this sequel, it's also going to rework Saboteur, because actually Saboteur has a legend to it, a small legend that went out originally, but Saboteur is part of a much bigger picture that is part of the Yarniverse. And in the new legend that I'm compiling, Saboteur, the basis of what's going on in Saboteur is re-explained in a way that's much more integral to the Yarniverse. And I'm very excited about it, because I think there's some very cool stuff to come.
I didn't think I could be more excited, but you proved me wrong. It sounds like the kind of understanding, in somewhat abstraction. It's that game where if you get into the zone, it's almost like the controller's not there. It's you in the game, which is how I felt and still feel about Yars Revenge. You get in that zone, you get in that cycle, and you're like, you're just doing it. And maybe you forgot you did the last three because you were right there.
That is the nicest thing you could possibly say to me, John. So I really appreciate that, because it's true. I think of gaming, like Twitch gaming, you can get into a meditative state where there is just this flow between you and the computer. It's a biofeedback loop. And you're so engaged in it that everything else disappears, and you are mesmerized and tuned into the game. You're locked in so intensely, time disappears, everything disappears. It's just you and the action. I think that's the ultimate gaming experience, when you actually disappear in the game. And this design is all about that.
So, as you mentioned earlier, this is something that you have spoken with Atari about, but we have now seen several other things have been released, but not Howard Scott Warshaw's true Yars sequel. If fans who are watching this and listening to this are anywhere near as excited as I am about it, what can they do? What can they do to help me, you, I guess, peripherally, but mostly me, so I can play this game, to help get Atari motivated to move that needle? What should they do?
The idea that someone would even be interested in really pushing something like this.
They're out there, Howard. They are out there. I assure you, they're out there.
Well, I hate to presume, but I got to say that's awesome and inspiring to me that's it. If someone is so inclined and wanted to do it, reach out to Atari. Start chatting it up on Atari Age, which is now a part of Atari. Yep. And if you can, reach out or message or email, actually Atari, Corp directly, and let them know that you're interested in seeing a new contribution to the Yars Revenge lineup. Because that's what I'm talking about, is a real, authentic, new step forward. Not just a rework of old Yars Revenge, but a brand new thing and an expansion of the concept. Because this can go way beyond just the next video game. I'm primed for it. And if people are excited about that, let Atari know. The greater the sense they have that people are anticipating this, I think the more eager they'll be to get it going.
No, I'll certainly do my part. I try to get the word out here, and I'm going to pester Atari as much as I can. Howard, once again, it excites me every time to see you happy and healthy and have a chance to speak with you. Thank you once more for taking time to sit down and talk with me here on GenXGrownUp.
John, thank you. And I would just say, anybody who's interested in the beginning and how Yars Revenge came to be Yars Revenge, that whole story is in my book, Once Upon Atari, How I Made History by Killing an Industry. The audio book is fun. I read it myself. Check it out and look forward to the next Yars contribution.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.